Hello, Jean-Marc.
Hello, François. Hello to the listeners.
Well, we've known each other for a while, and we've been discussing the evolution of things, the evolution of the situation. And Jean-Marc, recently I saw a post about self-amplifying messenger RNA, which would be this new technology being distributed for COVID vaccines. Can you tell me, since when Europe has integrated this new technology?
Well, the new technology of self-amplifying messenger RNA vaccines. So it was actually introduced in Europe with the vaccination of ducks. So it was a temporary authorization for use, which was actually implemented in 2023. But it was only really used in ducks in France to combat avian flu in 2024. But you should know that since February 2025, the EMA, which is the European Medicines Agency, has accepted COSTEV, which is a so-called self-amplifying messenger RNA vaccine against COVID for use in humans. There you go. So currently, let's say that in Europe, there are mainly two vaccines. Vaccin, we're going to call them vaccines, but still, we know they aren't vaccines that are accepted. There you go.
Do you know if this so-called self-amplifying vaccine is already being marketed?
Well, it's accepted in Europe. To my knowledge, it's not yet used, but it is used abroad. Already, in Canada and the United States, there are several self-amplifying messenger RNA vaccines, including for cattle, for pigs. There you go. So it's a technology that's developing a lot.
But where we are talking, we've talked about it a lot. And that's why I suggested this interview, because we've discussed it a lot for animals. But now the self-amplifying one is being developed for humans.
Yes, it's being developed for humans, and they will develop more and more. We know that officially there are 33 self-amplifying messenger RNA vaccines in development, including 4 for cancer. There you go. And so these are human vaccines.
You really alert us about this self-amplifying technology. So my first question is, can you tell us, in a way of accessible, by simplifying it a bit, can you explain to us who are novices what self-amplifying means compared to the one that wasn't self-amplifying? What changes in this technology?
So actually, to be as simple as possible, you should know that self-amplifying is also called self-replicating. It's actually the same vaccination strategy. To put it simply, they are actually messenger RNAs with a particularity. It's because we've added within the structure of this messenger RNA a genetic information that allows the production of enzymes that will make copies of the self-amplifying messenger RNA. So basically, it's a messenger RNA that will be injected and will multiply on its own, meaning our cells will be ordered to produce new messenger RNAs. So it actually allows to do away with booster shots, but actually it's a strategy that will be the most harmful of all. It will be more harmful than traditional messenger RNA.
So what can we consider as harmful effects compared to what's happening to us now? Compared to what has already been, you talked about the harmful effects of messenger RNA a long time ago. We should recall that you started talking about it, I believe, in 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yes, it was in 2020.
And today you're alerting us about this self-amplifying messenger RNA. So according to you, it's going to have even more pronounced harmful effects than what we currently know.
Yes, well, I've been alerting for quite some time. The first article for memory was done in February 2024 in Nexus. Well, at the time we didn't talk much about self-amplifying, but they already existed, especially on the American continent. So the expected side effects will be the same as the so-called traditional mRNA vaccines, but worse.
Worse?
Worse, why? Because we have a continuous production of the antigenic protein and even antigenic proteins. Because in the self-amplifying mRNA, there is always this nucleotide derivative, methyl pseudouridine, which is very harmful and leads to the production of a multitude of unknown proteins. So in addition to the antigenic protein, in this case, it's the spike protein, in the Kostev vaccine, which is the vaccine that was accepted by the EMA, specifically in February 2025. And right here, we will have a production of a lot of other molecules that will definitely be harmful because they will stimulate the immune system and lead to various pathologies. And we can't predict what these pathologies will be. In any case, it could be any type of pathology. So it can affect the nervous system, it can affect the peripheral system. So it could be neurological pathologies, notably neurodegenerative ones. It could be cardiovascular, gastrointestinal pathologies, obviously cancers, turbocancers, and autoimmune diseases. There will also be a lot of autoimmunity. Basically, it will be comparable to what we currently see with the anti-COVID mRNA vaccines like Comirnaty and Spikevax from Pfizer and Moderna. It will basically be the same thing. It might be slightly delayed over time because the quantities injected are smaller. For example, with Moderna, it was 100 micrograms of mRNA. For Comirnaty, it was 30 micrograms. For adult forms, well, the quantities will be much lower. Generally, it will be a few micrograms to maybe a few hundred nanograms. But in any case, these will be smaller quantities. So the harmful effects might be delayed over time. In any case, what's certain is that it won't be beneficial, and there will definitely be harmful effects with these injections, you see, which are developing more and more, and that's kind of the big problem.